Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is Time with First Lady. Today's video, I'm gonna be talking about something that you guys have been in my DM asking so much about. I just checked my Instagram and I realized I got a lot of messages from people asking me about how to cut down on costs since they're thinking of getting married. If you're in 2023 like I am, you realize that things are so expensive and people are trying to cut down. People are trying to move away from the whole norm of having a big and extravagant wedding and to saving the money towards a honeymoon or saving the money towards building a house or purchasing a house or something that they could probably profit off in the future. Um, if you're new here, hi, I'm First Lady. It's all fun over here, and I'm really glad that you're part of my channel. I really appreciate you so much. Kindly hit the subscription button if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, because trust me, you're going to enjoy here. I've already started a session which is called What Will First Lady Do? And in this session, um, basically just have to send me your stories you want me to read out to people, stories for people to actually give you their 2 cents about it. In this community, we are very respectful and very keen on our friends' mental health. That is how come no form of disrespect to these people who share their stories on my channel will be tolerated. So, and it's going to be anonymous, which means that nobody gets to know who it's from, nobody gets to know where it's from, and all that kind of stuff. Just send it to me on my Snapchat, First Lady Vanessa, or on my Instagram, First Lady Vanessa, and I'll do so to read your story. I'll read it here, tell you my advice, and then my gang on this YouTube will tell you what they also think about your story. But for today's video is something else. A lot of people want to save money from save money, like I said, in terms of getting married. If you're in Ghana, you realize that getting married is really expensive, especially because you start thinking about the fact that it's just a 1 day show and you have to spend so much money. You have to spend close to 50,000 CDs for both engagement and wedding if you want something really decent. Like, let's say $5,000 roughly. That is if the dollar is $1 to 10 CD. That's like $5,000. And well, people don't are not thinking of spending that much on a program that is only going to last for a day. So today I'm here to really give you tips and tricks. Okay. Now, initially in the past, weddings or wedding receptions were done by the female's family. The female's family had to take the entire cost of the wedding or the wedding reception, and it's just their way of saying bye bye to their daughter or their way of welcoming their son-in-law into their family. But for now, there's so many things that have changed, and this course now has mainly shifted towards the groom, and then the bride, but mostly the groom. If you're thinking of cutting down on costs on a wedding, then this is your video. Let's get into the video. I got married a couple of months or a couple of years ago, and there's so many things that I learned from planning my wedding, especially because I had to plan my wedding under a week because of so many circumstances and all those kind of stuff. So we had to just rush it up and then do something. But after doing the wedding, I sat down and I thought about something. I realized so many things that were wrong, and so many things that if I was to have a wedding and I wanted to have a very simpler wedding, I would do differently. And that is what I'm here to teach you. So to begin with, both of you have to decide. Sometimes, in Ghana, people usually say the wedding is for the groom and then the bride's family. Mostly it's for the groom and the bride's family because it's that time when they come out to support and there are various attires and various colors and all those kind of stuff. But if you have a family that really understands you, or if you can put your down and have a conversation with your family, then I'll be able to help you spend less than 5,000 cities or less than 10,000 cities, which is less than $500 or less than $1,000 on an engagement and a wedding. Isn't that fun? And you'll be able to save the rest of the money and use it to put it down on a house or put it down on a land or put it down or even have a honeymoon, which is very, very important, you know, maybe in a different country or something. So let's start. Now, I wrote some things down. So if you see me looking down, just so I don't forget um, some of the things, I wrote some things down and I'll probably be reading them to you so I can explain myself better, so I get my whole thoughts in place. Choose a date which is good for you and your husband and your family. If your family gives you the go ahead, and let's say you're choosing, let's say 17th of July, you can go and tell your pastor that you're thinking of getting married on 17th of July. Your pastor says that, oh, we are going for convention, so I cannot come. No problem. There's so many other pastors who can bless your union. It doesn't necessarily have to be that pastor. You understand? Yes. So that's the first thing you do. Choose a date. Second thing you should do is you and your spouse should sit down and choose a guest list. Now, for me, if you are using 5,000 Cs as a budget or you're using 10,000 Cs as a budget, mind you, this money, your clothes must come out of it. This money, your rings must come out of it. This money, the food you must come out of this money. The money you're going to pay at the registry for the marriage certificates and all those things must come out of this money. Okay, so if you're saying you're using 10,000 Cs or you're using 5,000 Cs to do this, remember that you must inculcate all these things into it. Now you're going to say, First Lady, how is this possible? I'm about to get to it. Choose let's say you're using 10,000 Cs, choose a guest list. If I was to have a do-over and I wanted a very simple wedding or a very simple marriage ceremony, and let's say I'm using 10,000, I get my ring, I get my rings, I get my husband's ring, I get my clothes. For the rings, you can just go to a place. These people have not paid for ad, so I don't even know if I should mention their names or not. But there are so many places that you can get rings that are under 1,000 cities, and then for you and your groom, some of them even come with the engagement and then the wedding band, and they are all under 1,000 cities. You can also get one for your husband. It's also under 1,000 cities. So let's say you spent 1,800 on both of you your rings, which you probably spent less, but let's say you spent 1,800 on both of you your rings. When you go to the registry, since you're both Ghanaians, you're going to spend probably 150 to 250 cities. If you are not, one person is not Ghanaian, you spend close to 300 cities. So let's say you're spending 300 cities. You add it to 1,008, which is what, 2,100. Good. Now, you go and buy your cloth. You don't necessarily have to buy a full piece of kente, you know, because you're having a very simple thing. Your husband has gone for the list and he has bought the list. Remember, the items for the list is at the discretion of your parents. So your parents have to decide. For me, my mom and dad decided to give my husband a very, very simple list. I wish I could show it to you, but I don't think I should. It was a very, very simple list, and I don't think my husband spent more than 3,000 or 3,000 cities on that list. And if you get a very, very simple list, that is if the bride's family wants to give you a simple list, okay? You get a simple list, go and buy the stuff. So let's say you spend 3,000 on the simple list. 3,000 added to 2,000, was it 2,100 or 2,200? I don't know, 2,200 would be what? 4,000, 5,200. Now you have 4,800 left. 4,800, you probably spend maybe 1,500 on both of your clothes. People can just, the bride can get a very simple dress for 300 cedis for her traditional marriage. And you, the groom, can get equal a very simple something. You can even wear something that you even had in your closet. It doesn't necessarily have to be new. It could be something you have in your closet that you've probably not worn before, and you can wear that. The grooms do it sometimes. Sometimes the suits they wear for their marriage, it's not new, trust me. They probably just took it from their closet. when the engagement is done and then you are done going to sign and your pastor comes to bless the marriage, you can invite your mom, your dad, yourself, your wife, um, three friends from the groom side, three friends from the bride side, and maybe four family members from this side, four family members from that side, and add maybe let's say a total of 15 people. You can go to a restaurant and then have a wonderful dinner, and you will not spend more than 3,000 cedis. Even with this, you have spent less than 10,000 Ghana cedis when you're married. And last, you are married. You can have a photographer come take pictures or come take videos, and it will not take you more than 500 cedis for both, honestly speaking. And even at the place where you're having the, let me just call it reception, the dinner, you can have photographers taking pictures there. And that's a free venue. That is a free venue, honestly speaking. And it's so cheap. You have the simple engagement and then the signing during the morning, and the evening you people go for dinner. Or right after, you people go for lunch. Or you people go for brunch. That way you people have spent less than 10,000 Ghana cedi on your entire engagement and wedding. Now, in order for you to do this, certain things are there that you're not supposed to do. If you should post your wedding invitation on your status or wedding invitation on your social media handles, there are people you haven't sent the invitation to that will show up. You know, for my wedding, I wish I could invite everybody, but sometimes, you know, when you are planning this wedding, you forget that, oh, you're supposed to call that person, because just everything is like a rush hour and you're probably not thinking straight, right? So me, I just posted it on my status and I was like, if my friends see it, they should show up. And trust me, they showed up. I was so excited. Like, I had seats for 150 people to 170 people, and they were all full, and people were even standing up. So if you don't want people to really show up like that, do it strictly by invitation. Don't post it on your social medias. Don't post it on your Instagram, on your WhatsApp, nowhere. Just call your friends on the phone and tell them that, oh, I'm inviting you for my wedding. We are signing here at this time, and we are having the reception here at that time. It's between this time to that time. Trust me, it's not Ghana man time. It's between this time to that time. And please show up and wear something beautiful. That is it. That is it. Because the only reason why people go out to overspend, some people end up changing 3-4 times. Some people, during my time, I almost paid 15,000 cedis to 20,000 cedis just for a venue, just a space. I almost paid that amount. You know, I even made a down payment, which I ended up losing because they don't refund, but that's fine. I ended up using one of our family homes for the venue, and it was a beautiful thing. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So if you honestly want to cut down, that is what you're supposed to do. You can have the place, you can do it at your house. In case you want to do something for 50 people, you can have it in your house. Have somebody come do a very simple decoration for you. And if you want a very simple decoration but it's affordable, if you decide to book people who do decor around December or around New Year or around Easter, you end up spending a lot. So in order for you to spend less, if you are really thinking about spending less, take these days, these months out of the date you want to choose to get married. Also, I realized that when we were getting married, our table, we had to provide napkins, plates, we had to pay for these plates, you have to pay for cutlery, we had to pay for napkins, and the flowers were fine, but some of the things, wine glasses. It was at my wedding that I realized that I forgot to even buy champagne. And then I was like, well, even the champagne was not even important. So I ended up saving money from that. So you can cut down, things to cut down is my next thing. The next thing, the things to cut down if you're thinking of having a wedding at home. We finished discussing having the engagement and the wedding. something really small and then going for dinner or going for lunch afterwards to cut down costs. Now, if you want to have something at home, if your family members are probably a lot like mine, and then you're thinking, okay, how about have a wedding with 50 people, and I really, really want to cut down. When you are booking the decorators, tell them that you only need one glass. Sometimes they give you water glass and then they give you wine glass. Honestly speaking, the wine glass is not even the water glass is not even important, because you end up serving people in maybe bottled water, or maybe you're thinking of, okay, maybe you're thinking of serving drinks. Okay, fine, you can have the water glass on the table, which can serve for drinks and water. Okay, so in case you're drinking maybe a beer or something, the person doesn't want to drink from the bottle, the person can just pour it into the glass and drink. You can either do that, or you can just buy a full packet of red cups. And when people want, if people want to have a cup, they can use the red cup instead of the glass. That way you also cut down on the decor side. Also, this fork and knife on the table, I don't think it's important. Cut it out, because the people who are even giving you food are going to give you cutlery when you're going for the food. Also, when the table is set up, there is a plate, there's something there for, and then they put a plate on it. That one too, tell them you don't want the plate on top, because when you also go, again, when you go for the food session, they are going to have plates there for you to dish food and come and eat on your table. Are you still with me? Fantastic. So now you're cutting down on the wine glasses, you're cutting down on the cutlery on the table, because the food people are going to provide all these things. Cutting down on the plates on the table, because the food session is still going to provide all these things. Okay, now another thing that you probably want to cut down. Also, oh, I almost forgot. Another thing is the champagne. There's no need to do champagne for you people to pop champagne. You people are already serving drinks. You people can just pour the drinks and then have a toast with everybody holding their drinks and then just drink up. You don't necessarily need to have people come pop champagne. Honestly speaking, I don't think you should just cut down on that. Okay? If you want to get a very, very, very nice good rings are expensive. If you want gold or diamond rings, they're very, very expensive. And if you feel like for now you can't afford it, you can just hold on and get those rings later on when you're having an anniversary. When it's just you and your spouse, you can just call a pastor and say, you're having an anniversary, can I bless our marriage, okay? And then people can just change your rings and get diamonds or get gold and just exchange your rings. You don't necessarily have to get those expensive rings at that time. For the clothes, like I was saying, you don't necessarily have to buy a whole set of kente. A whole set of kente for traditional marriage, which you're going to only use for the traditional marriage. You know, like if you buy the whole set, it's like the cheapest you can get is 1,500. And I feel that's a lot of money. So instead of using that amount to buy the kente, how about your husband can buy a kaftan? They already make kaftans available. It's between 300 to 500 cedis. Your husband can buy that kaftan, and then you can tell the people that you bring a strap of your dress for them to fix at the top. I don't think they'll even charge you for that, since you're buying that from them. They'll do it for you willingly. You let them get it, and then for you, since you want to buy, if you want to buy kente, you can just buy 2 yards. When you buy 2 yards of kente, let them do something really nice at your upper side. And then you can go and buy maybe silk, or you can buy another material which is not very expensive. Use it for your lower side, and it will look beautiful. It will look different, honestly speaking, and you cut down on cost at that section. Also, for your hair, for the guys, you just go and lead it down, cut, and then they are done. But for the females, you want to do your hair. During my time, I tried to just have a natural look. So I decided to just use my hair for a style. Even though I had bought wig extensions, I changed my mind. I decided to just use my hair for a style. You can also do the same. You can use your own hair for a style if you have wig extensions already there. Every female has wigs. I'm sure you have one good wig. If you have one good wig, just take it to your hairstylist and tell them to wrap it nicely for you. And you can just go to the hair salon, having them do a comb, and just fix it on top of your head for you. You can use that same hairstyle for both engagement and wedding. That is if you want to do engagement and wedding. Good. Now, um, we're done with clothes, we're done with hair. Let's go to makeup. With makeup, when you go and when you go to a makeup shop and tell them you want to do a bridal makeup, they will charge you overwhelmingly. It's insane. People can charge you 2,500 for a bridal makeup, 4,000 cedis for a bridal makeup, and like we want to cut down on cost. You understand? So if you go very early in the morning and you tell them to do a makeup for you, they're going to know that you're a bride and you don't want to pay that much. So just go, maybe you don't necessarily have to do the wedding in the morning, but if you want to do it in the morning, there are so many makeup shops that open in the morning. You can go in the morning for them to they just tell them you want something really simple but nice because you're a wedding guest and you want to look very beautiful. They will give you a very beautiful makeup for less. So now, instead of paying 2,500 cedis for makeup that you're going to use for just a day, you end up paying 200 cedis or 150 cedis for that same makeup. And you still cut down on costs. You understand? Yes. And if you're having your both engagement and wedding on the same day, you can use both makeup for the engagement and wedding, like I did. You can use both makeup for the engagement and wedding. And if you want to do, tell them that you sweat a lot, so they'll put something there for you not to sweat. Okay, when they do the makeup, and then when you're about to go for the exchange of vows for the wedding, just pick your own brush, just do a little bit of touch up, or just pick your, I don't know what that thing is called, and just use it to tap on your face. Don't rub, just tap on your face, and then it will soak all this excess sweat on your face, and then you still have your beautiful makeup done. Yeah, so that's how you're cutting down on all that. Honestly, if you want to save on anything, save on all these things. But for your photographer, make sure you get a good photographer because pictures are very, very important. You will need it for so many things in the future. In case people are saying, no, you're not married, you have proof. So the pictures are very, very important. So get a good photographer who will also charge you less and still do the photography for you beautifully. Okay? The photographers will come charge you 500 cedis to 1,000 cedis for both engagement and wedding. For the food, it was very expensive. Like I said, if you can prepare the food by yourself at home with the help of family and friends, please go ahead and do that because if not, maybe because of aesthetics, you want to get somebody to make the food and come and do the whole setup. And when they do the whole setup too, you end up having to pay for it. You understand? So you can just decide to make all this food by yourself, and then you can hire all these aesthetics. You can speak to your decor person to provide a nice table with a cloth, and then also hire these metallic things that they keep the food inside to keep warm for you. So instead of you getting it from your caterer, if you want to cook it by yourself, you can let your decor person provide all these things for you. In that case, you will need your decor person to also provide you with the plates and the cutleries. The cutleries, you can use plastic cutleries, which are far cheaper compared to if you were going to use the cutleries from the decor person. Okay? Yes. So now speaking about hair, speaking about makeup, if you want to buy a wedding dress, because you can't use the same engagement. Some people don't want to use the same engagement for the wedding. You understand? Engagement dress for the wedding. The male can decide to still wear their kaftans for the wedding. But if you're a female and you don't want to wear the same thing for your wedding, you can buy a dress from Kiku. Okay, Kiku is an app that we use in Ghana. Go to Kiku. In fact, let me just help you with that. We're going to go to Kiku, and before you do this Kiku thing, please make sure that you speak to your seamstress who does your who's going to do your engagement in order to give you the right measurements. You can even decide to go through the measurements or go through the clothes with your seamstress so that she can help you get the right measurements. You can buy this clothes. Make sure if you're going to order from Kiko, make sure you buy it at least 1 month or 2 months to the wedding, so that in case they take so long, at least in 2 months it will be in. I'm seeing clothes with 800 cedis, which are really, really beautiful. Something like this, it's just 800 cedis and you can get it. And you can do alterations. Maybe there's something you don't want on the dress, you can make alterations. The expensive one I've seen is 2,400 cedis. And if that is by air, it's plus shipping. Okay, if it's by sea, it's 2,200 cedis. And they provide you shipping by air and shipping by sea prices. So if you're in a hurry, you can use shipping by air. But if you are not in a hurry, you can use shipping by sea, and it will help you save on some little money which you can use for something else. They have really, really nice clothes that come with measurements, so you could buy it, and when you're buying it, they have the measurements there that you could see, and then you could just collect and choose the measurements, and they tell you what exactly, whether it is XL, XXL. They even have to XXXXXL. So you can get something really affordable. That is if things are really expensive. Okay, if things are really, wedding gowns are really expensive in Ghana, you can just ship. And they even have colors. They even have colors that you can choose from. If you're not the usual bride who wears white, I wanted to wear red for my wedding. My mom won't have it, so I decided to wear white. You understand? So yeah, that is it for the wedding dresses. You can also buy the wedding veil. Some of the dresses come with wedding veils as well. You can also buy wedding veil and wedding bands if you want, or you can want to just acquire and just buy the veil and then the band yourself, and it will probably be cheaper. Yeah. Another thing that you could cut down on is the bouquet. During my time, bouquet was really, really expensive. I was like, why are bouquets that expensive? So in case you don't want to use the expensive bouquets and you probably have nice flowers in your house, you can cut the flowers yourself. Use something nice to wrap it as a band, and then hold it and take it to the altar. After all, when you're done with it, you're not going to use it again. But if you still want to buy a bouquet, there are really cheap bouquets that you can get between 150 to 200 cedis. In fact, maybe when you even go on Kiko, you can even order a bouquet from Kiko, and the bouquet will also come at the same time as the wedding gown. Okay, so I'm seeing a bouquet here for 117 cedis, 100 117 cedis, 124 cedis, 130 cedis, which I think is really nice. I've used the bouquet that is like 83 Ghana cedis. You can get really, really nice bouquets, 91 Ghana cedis, 85 Ghana cedis. All these bouquets are bouquets you could use. You understand? You could use a 91 Ghana cedi bouquet, which is really, really pretty. Instead of paying 250 cedis for a bouquet, you can get some really cheap on Kiko. Okay. Now, since I've mentioned Kiko, maybe I should mention the ring plug. I thought. So if you want really, really cheap and simple rings, you can also go to Rings for Less. Rings for Less, they are at Dansoman, and they make really, really nice rings. In fact, if you have your ring, if you bought a ring from there and then some of the stones come off, you can take it back and then they'll fix new stones for you. If it's too tight, they can open it for you. If it's too small, they can close it for you. If you need tightening of your stones, they can do all those things for you free of charge, just because you bought the rings from there. So all these things are to cut down on cost. You understand? You can get really, really good rings from Rings for Less. Trust me, with a very, very, very small. If you have a very, very tight budget, Rings for Less is a place for you to go. They'll give you quality rings and all that. Now, your shoes. I remember for me, my wedding shoes, my beautiful friend Lady bought the wedding shoes for me. But if Lily didn't buy me shoes, I would have probably chosen some shoes from my shoe rack because I have a lot of shoes and I don't see the reason why you should buy another shoe when you have shoes in your shoe rack. Especially because your wedding gown may be so long that nobody's even going to see your feet. In fact, I could have even worn Kambu and nobody would have seen it. I could have worn Chalote and nobody would have seen it. Because my wedding gown was so big and beautiful. You understand? So shoes for your wedding, it's not really important unless you are really wearing this really fitted clothes and wedding gown which is short. If you're wearing a short wedding fitted, then that means that your shoes have to be seen and they will be seen because your wedding gown is short. But if your wedding gown is long and it's flare like ballroom gown, there's no need to waste your time or money to buy shoes. Okay? Yes, if you order you can get a ballroom gown on Kiku for less than 1,000 cedis plus shipment, and it'll help you cut down the cost. Okay? For if you in case you want to have bridesmaids, pick friends who understand the fact that the economic situation is very, very difficult. Because I remember even me, I paid a makeup artist come do my friend's makeup, and this girl didn't show up. But that's another story for another day. Your friends can do their own makeup. You definitely have this one friend who is very, very good at makeup. Talk to this friend and let all your other bridesmaids bring their makeups and let this friend do the makeup for them, just to support you there. For me, I tried to just make a small box and say thank you to my bridesmaids for being there for me. You don't necessarily have to do that, honestly speaking. You can just talk to your friends and let them know how much you appreciate them going out of their way to support you during your wedding. You don't necessarily need to buy the clothes for them, the materials. If they want to support you, that's why you're supposed to ask them for permission. If they agree, means they're going to buy the clothes themselves. Okay? They can buy the clothes themselves. They can buy their shoes themselves. They can do their makeup themselves. And they can just come and support you on your beautiful day. Yeah. For the grooms, if your husband is wearing kaftan, all your groommen can wear another color of kaftan. If they want to buy it, fine. But if they don't want to buy it, I'm sure they will all have a different color that maybe they all have the same color. They can all wear that to support you, or they can just sew a new color just like the bridesmaids just to support you. Okay, because you're working on a very tight budget. People say that strictly by invitation doesn't work. Trust me, it works. I went for a wedding and saw somebody being turned away because the person's name was not on the invite list. Yes, it can be done. So in order for you to cut down on cost, if you want to do strictly by invitation, please go ahead and make sure you don't post it on your social medias. Anyway, guys, we are done. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as usual, it's been time with First Lady. Bye for now.